as we move towards the ending, we want to start bringing in I want to bring in the idea of real extreme close quarter and ferociousness. And one of the things that we have to understand is that we are not fighting for sport. We're not fighting for points. We are fighting to live. We're fighting to get it home. And the way I think about it is I will do everything I ever possibly can do never to be involved in physical violence. So if you set that rule and if you go all the way back to what we taught at the beginning about hands up and control and awareness and really not letting people get close to you so that you can be safe. And if you live that, then the only time this is ever going to happen is if someone, you then have the kind of, I suppose, the right to act in your own defense. And this is where it comes, because once we engage, we have to do whatever we have to do to escape. Because remember, the way I think about it is someone who's attacking me is not just attacking me, they're attacking my family, or they're attacking you, they're attacking your family, they're attacking what's going to happen if you're not around. So they're going to attack, they have to look after you. They're attacking your ability to be who you are, your self-confidence, your self-esteem. Everything can get damaged by this type of assault. So it's very important to fight for everything you have in your life, okay? And I'm saying that because we're going to start bringing on some very, I suppose, dark stuff that sometimes upsets some people. So for example, earlier on, we basically got trapped here, and I spoke about going for the groin. But what if I couldn't get to the groin? What if I couldn't? So now I've got to look at some other options. I can't find, and maybe he's bringing me, maybe he's dragging me, or maybe his mate's coming at me with a baseball bat or a knife. And that's something we deal with in other courses. But basically, for today, I need to get out of this, okay? So basically, I'm stuck. So what are my options? So the option I'm going to go after, I'm going to look at biting. But when I bite, though, I'm going to bite with a ferociousness, with a scariness. So when we're going to look at grabbing here, we're going to look at, so when we bite, we're going to bite like a wild animal. And tell me, what way does a wild animal bite? Vicious. It takes chunks as well, doesn't it? It just goes in there and it rips. And the other thing a wild animal does is it growls. What are you in here? I'm fucking growling in that fucking ear. But I'm growling in that ear, right? I'm basically, if you think of what's going on in this guy's mind, okay? Now also what's going on in my mind is, so obviously there's all sorts of fears of bloodborne pathogens, like you've got concerns about HIV and whatever. And really, if you look at it, apparently what happens is if your blood goes into your digestive system and goes through, you're probably okay. I'm not a doctor, so you need to check that out. But if it gets into your blood system, you do run risk, and you run risks of hepatitis and all that. But but there's a saying for you that I want you to understand is when death is imminent, injury has its appeal. When death is imminent, injury has its appeal. So if you're going to die and you have nothing left but to bite, do you really care? You'll take what you take. And the other scenario is if my family, if I'm being held by somebody, I don't give a damn what they've got, who's carrying everything, right, that under the sun, and somebody else has my wife. Do you think I give a damn? I'm going to eat them. I'm going to tear into them. I'm going to bite them. I'm going to destroy them to get to the guy to save my wife. I don't care. Someone's got your children. Do you care? Okay, so remember, if someone's attacking you, they're still attacking your family. And if you've got nothing else to do, are you just going to stop? So this is an option. It's not my favorite thing. I hope no one here ever has to use anything we teach, especially biting. But we're just going to put it in there so it exists in your psyche as an option. That's basically what we're going to do. So we're going to get pinned, and we're going to look at the biting, and we're going to simulate growling and ripping and tearing. We're going to simulate people, yeah? We're going to simulate. So, but we're not simulating growling. We're really growling. We're going to. And we're going to go for the biting. Okay, simulating the biting again. So we're going to do a grab from the front with the arms pinned, and I want growling. I want to hear it. Go! Arms pinned. So now what we're going to do, we're going to play what's called the biting game. Okay, and basically all you're going to do is no matter what technique your partner puts on you, be it a headlock, you're going to go for the bite. If he grabs you from the front, you go for the bite. If he grabs you from behind, you go for the bite. If he chokes you, you go for the bite. It doesn't matter what he does. You're basically going for the bite. Okay? So, and you're simulating, of course, but if he grabs you from here, you go for the bite. I don't give a shit whether you can reach or not. Go for the bite. He doesn't know whether you can reach or not. Okay, let's go. A new game. Earlier on I showed you ideas where the grab is behind you, go for the finger. So we've just played the biting game. Now we're going to go for the finger game. And what the finger game is, no matter where you are, you go for a finger. No matter what he's doing to you. He's choking you, you go for a finger. You grab from here, you go for a finger. I love the little finger. Love the little finger. It's very easy to snap. And it hurts like hell. If I get grabbed from the here, like here, go for the finger. The headlock, go for the finger. All right? So basically, I don't give a damn what he's doing to you. Go for the finger. Okay, go, go. So now this new game is called the biting, finger and pinching game. So all you're allowed to do is a bite or pinch or grab a finger. If I look from here, from all of these scenarios, just look, I could bite, I got a pinch here, I got a pinch here, I maybe get into the groin, and from here I could go and look, find the finger. From here, I could go for the bite, I could go for the pinch in the groin, I could go for a finger. From a choke, I can go for a finger, I can go for a bite, I could go for a pinch. Not my favourite one against today, but just, this is not a, obviously you would do everything you have. This is just to show you that there's often small micro movement. Now I don't think these moves are going to end the fight. I don't think these, but I think they might cause movement. They might cause delay. They might get you, they might activate your brain into doing something to save yourself. So it's all about doing something small. So it's the finger, biting, pinching game. So all you're allowed to do, go, 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 go. So that's all very well if you're pinned, but what if you're blasting? So one of the things, so one of the things that can happen, so say we're blasting and we get in close and we find ourselves here. So the question is what we're going to do now. So what we're going to do when we're in this close, a lot of times what people do is you start pulling back and striking. But if you do that, you've lost forward momentum and you basically have let the guy back into the situation. So what we're going to do is we're going to go palms, elbows, knees. But as we get really close, we're going to get on the face. We're just going to turn and rip and gouge and just constantly turn and rip and gouge at that face. All right, so this is what we call extreme close quarter. So really all we do is we get real close. We're going to grab the back of that head. Grab the back of or the shoulder so it's pinned. We're going to bring one hand in and we're going to rip at it. We're going to gouge. I'm going to rip ears, bring elbows in, hike, gouge, and just the idea is just constantly tear, biting, and just add everything in here now. And the idea here is small tearing, gouging. So you're just ripping, sticking your fingers in, driving your thumbs up to the nose, grabbing at the ear, bringing elbows back in. You can switch, but typically I always try to hold him. Thumbs, ripping, up, ripping, elbows, gouging, biting, headbutting, and spitting. What we're trying to do is constantly overwhelm. If I'm here and I've nothing to do, at least that's going, eh? And people go, well, it might annoy him. He's pretty fucking annoyed. He's pretty annoyed here. You don't give a shit about annoying him. You basically want him to go away. Now imagine you're a woman and this guy thinks he's going to sexually assault a woman. He's going to think he's going to rape her. And next minute, she comes in, she's fucking tearing and ripping and biting and spitting. Is he going to want her near any other part of his anatomy? If I were him, I wouldn't be taking bits of my body out because you're going to lose them. Yeah. Now this is really, really, one of the key points that people sometimes say is, will I get hurt more? Well, I don't know. What is he going to do? If he's just going to tickle you, that's okay. But what is he going to do? So this is one of the big questions. You could acquiesce. You could say, let him do what he wants and hope that you'll be okay. And that's a personal choice. That's a personal choice. But when you give up that, if you decide to let them do what they want because of fear or threats, you have just given up any sense of control and you are hoping that they will let you go. And you have no more say in this matter. One of the things that has been basically studied over and over and over again is the efficacy of self-defense. And basically they studied people who did self-defense, and the very fact that you fought back either made you escape or reduced the impact of the assault. There is absolutely no research or evidence to show that fighting back gets you hurt more. It does not mean that if you can avoid violence, you shouldn't. Of course you should. But what I'm saying to you is there is no evidence, there's no research evidence that in any way shows that fighting back. The only person who wants you to believe fighting back is a bad option is who? The attacker. That's who wants you to believe that. That's their propaganda. And they'll promise or they'll threaten to hurt you more if they fight back. But you know what? Never believe anyone who you don't know who's making promises, and never believe their threats. Does that make sense, everybody? So let's go back into this again. We're getting close because we want to scare these guys to death. So I'm getting in close. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my fingers. I'm going to rake at that face. I'm going to gouge my thumb into the eye. I'm going to rip at their ears. I'm going to use the elbows. I'm going to bite. I'm going to headbutt. And how I'm going to headbutt is I'm going to use the top of my head. Bam! I'm going to ripping and tearing. That's what we're going to practice now. So we're going to work on this now. Obviously we have to go easy on our partner. So I'm going to hold this pad for John. And what he's going to do, he's going to come in with palms and elbows. And he's going to get close. And then he's going to tear and rip at the pad. And he's really going to make his bet just constantly tearing. And the big... the big idea here is when you get onto this pad, which represents the face, and you never come off it. It's like remember years and years ago, your granny with a face cloth used to roll your face with a real rough face cloth. So here it's like we're doing it with our fingers and our nails, and we're here and we're ripping and we're elbowing and we're tearing and we're gouging and we're headbutting and we're spitting and we're biting. So just get on there and get a real ferocious and real close. So palms, elbows, knees, and then get real close and rip and tear at the thing. Okay, go. Go. Finishing drill for this is I want you to get 3 people and a focus mitt and a kick shield. A focus mitt and a kick shield. Let's go. So the job here now is to beat the living daylights out of the pad. Palms, elbows, and knees. And then when this pad comes in and knocks him, I want you to go extreme close quarter on it. In ripping, tearing, biting. You're back on the pad. So the idea here is to moving between palms and elbows and ripping and tearing and extreme close quarter. Remember headbutts. If you're going to headbutt, we headbutt with the crown. The top of the head, not with the forehead. With the crown. We tip, we simulate biting. So get set. Deciders in the middle. Grips the tree. Ferociousness. This is what this is about. Go! Okay, so let's talk about this. So tonight, in this module, we brought in a new level of ferociousness. I spoke about biting. I spoke about tearing and ripping and being nasty and being evil. And one of the key things that we really need to understand is that is really, really nasty. It's horrible, it's brutal, and it's just something most of us never want to actually have to do. But you have to look at what is your alternative. What are the consequences? We introduced biting way down in this course because it's not our favorite thing. But I want you to have a chance that if you're pinned and there's nothing left for you, there's nothing left that you can bite, and that bite might be what saves you, might just activate you into the fight, might cause a movement that allows you to get back into the fight. So that's what it's all about. We then spoke about extreme close quarter and getting on and your hands being like magnets and getting on and ripping and tearing. And what you're actually seeking to do is to create overwhelm and total fear, an animalistic and feral fear in the person who's harming you. Remember, if we had our hands up and got a blast and brilliant, you're only doing this if this fight has disintegrated into a place where you're in trouble. And this is what is going. And remember, people who fight back, at least you're doing something to save yourself. At least. And yes, people will say to you, oh, you might make it worse. But there is no evidence to that, and that is personal opinion. The bottom line is you have to understand, if you acquiesce and you let them do what they want, it's up to them. And if that's what you want to do with your life, that's your choice. My recommendation is fight. Fight like you're prepared to die, because you might. Okay, well done.